What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Living in Arizona, and today we're going to field a question from Carrie Gandhi. I need recommendations. Moving to Arizona in a couple months, and I need to be closer to Cave Creek, but can't afford Cave Creek. Any suggestions? So I'm going to give her answer in the beginning of the video and answer the question about areas to consider around Cave Creek. For those of you who do not know, Cave Creek is in far north Phoenix. It's actually its own municipality called Cave Creek next to Carefree, and as further you go out, you get around, if you go, the further east you go, the more expensive it gets. The further west you go, the more affordable it gets. So if you're trying to move to Cave Creek and you want to save money, go west of Cave Creek on Carefree Highway from Cave Creek Road. But then after that, I'm going to talk about some of the other communities north of Bell Road, which I'm going to call just in general North Phoenix. And towards the end of the video, I'm going to give some recommendations of places that were like how Cave Creek used to be, which is rural, buy property, get land, high desert, and not going to break the bank like you would get in Cave Creek. So we're going to go ahead and dial this in. If you're new to Living in Arizona, you can hit subscribe and turn on the bell and get notified when videos drop about Arizona. Or if you live here and you just like to keep up with things going that are relevant to Arizona, you can also subscribe. And let's go ahead and dial this in here. So as you can see, we are out and about in America, right? And we're going to take this and zoom right on into North Phoenix. Here is Cave Creek. This is Cave Creek. Let me take the little orange guy and put him right there in Cave Creek. Come on, little orange guy. We're going to go right onto Cave Creek Road. All right, look at that. Straight up right there at the old Satisfied Frog. Oh my gosh. Is this the old Satisfied Frog? Actually, I need to be a little bit further out than the Satisfied Frog. Let me see if I can get us. So this is Frontier Town. I know that place because, yeah, I know of that place. Yeah, it's actually called Frontier Town. And how do I back out of that? Oh man. I want to go onto Cave Creek Road. All right, let's go ahead and try it one more time, zooming a little bit further in. But that's Frontier Town. That just gives you a good idea of what you're dealing with in Cave Creek. It's an old frontier town. It's like a cowboy town. Now it's a lot of bikers and stuff. I grew up around here. I know Cave Creek really good. I probably don't know Cave Creek. I know the old Cave Creek. We're talking 1980s, I used to ride my bike around here. They didn't even have bike paths, and it wasn't even a 4-lane road. This place is still there, but look at Cave Creek. I mean, you could see it's a sleepy little town. They actually used to say, hey, no McDonald's, no Walmart. They still block out all franchises. This is a small municipality. And yeah, this is basically where Cave Creek begins. But it's high rent district up here. And a lot of it is going to be foothill living up against this mountain here called Black Mountain. Black Mountain kind of looks like an alligator from the front if you're looking at it from Carefree. An alligator's head, I guess you would call it. It's an old volcano. But you can see Cave Creek is a pretty nice place. It's old Arizona frontier town, right? And then that's basically what you're going to get here in Cave Creek. And then as you keep going down this road, you eventually come to Carefree. But you can see why she would want to live here. And if we even went around to some of these other communities around Cave Creek, you can see these are all these people have lots. They have acreage, homes with acres. And this is expensive living up here. All in this whole area. This is Boulders, Carefree, Cave Creek. Okay, so Spurcross Ranch, beautiful homes up here in Spurcross. Every one of them has acreage, anywhere between 1 to 2 acres, and it's all around Black Mountain. And in case you're wondering where it gets its name, there's the creek. I've actually seen wildcats up and down this creek here. It's actually dry right now, but there's wildcats that live in those lush areas. And right here's the golf course. I used to work at this golf course called Rancho Mañana. And yeah, it's a nice golf course. The Cave Creek goes way up here. And it's called Cave Creek because it's named after a creek. But, so she asked, where are some communities around here that aren't going to break the bank? And so I'm going to give you some answers about that. So you're going to have to come down here. I would say you could probably check out around Dynamite, another place I used to live, this area called Tatum Ranch. Tatum Ranch is a little bit more affordable than Cave Creek, but it's still kind of expensive. You can get these houses where you live on property out here in like Desert Vista Trails, on Dynamite, Dixoletta, but you're probably going to need a little bit more than that, a little bit more savings. So I'm going to recommend that you even consider coming down all the way towards Desert Ridge. Desert Ridge Shopping Center right here. It's still pretty close to Cave Creek. Remember, the further west you go, the more affordable it's going to get. The further east you go, so the more you go this way towards Scottsdale, the more expensive it's going to get. The more you go this way, the more affordable it's going to get. So here's Cave Creek. So this area down here, you have the Pinnacle Peak. This area, these kids right here would go to Pinnacle High School. Pinnacle High School won the state championship for basketball, and I think they were runners-up in football for 6A. That's the big leagues, right? So the high school Pinnacle right around here is the premier school you would go to. That's the Pinnacle Peak substation. Where's Pinnacle? Pinnacle is... Where is Tatum Boulevard? Well, either way, it's next to Tatum Boulevard. I don't have the exact location of Pinnacle. There's Explorer Middle School. Regardless, it's not a big deal. But Pinnacle's middle school or high school is like right around here, and it's the top school in America, in Arizona. But so you would consider this area Desert Ridge. Remember, the further west you go, the more affordable it's going to get, and then you could. This would be like a step below. This would be like even a step below that. So like, let's call Cave Creek 5-star. This would be like 4-star. This would be like 3.5 stars, but you're still within a close range of Cave Creek. Now, if you don't want to go south and you want to go west more, you can find cheaper homes in this area called New River. So New River is getting built up, but you would take Carefree Highway west and you would end up around about 7th Street. It's a little bit more rugged out here in New River. You can get some pretty decent lots up in here. There is no road that connects Cave Creek and New River until you go to Carefree Highway. So you have to take Carefree Highway to connect because there's these big mountains here in between Cahava Springs, Cahava Ranch area, and New River. So that would be one of your options. Take Carefree Highway. And if you don't want to live in a home that has big acreage, which living on a home with big acreage, you're going to, get 1 to 2 acres in a house, a little bit more expensive than if you get these Trek homes or condominiums, which you can get here in Tramonto. So you could check out Tramonto Park. Those are just north of Carefree Highway, and you could see it's all now, when you go south from Carefree Highway, it's going to get even more affordable, but you're still within range to Cave Creek. Now, bear in mind, it sprawls, so you would have to take I-17 to Carefree Highway from here to get to Cave Creek Road, and then, you pull up into Cave Creek. Probably about a 20 to 30 minute drive. The other way is to go down Dove Valley Road and into Cave Creek. For some odd reason, they don't build a road that kind of funnels up towards Carefree Highway from here, so you have to go south. This area is getting built up, though. This would be called, I would say this is more like the Cave Creek Basin, because there is a little reservoir down here, and then right next to Dove Valley. So that would lead me to my next point. You could consider Dove Valley. That's this area right here. And you can see they're building the Loop 303, which is actually already in place, but the 303 will extend at a higher rate, and it will go through the Sonoran Desert Drive, right? That's going to be a big corridor that's going to open everything up, and including this whole area around Tatum Ranch. But it doesn't extend past West Phoenix. So this area here is where I'm recommending that you check out. This is the Sonoran Foothills, okay? And it's a good area because it's got a lot of commercial or industrial infrastructure around here. You can see USAA's here, Shops at Noterra, the Villaggio, Happy Valley. So this area would be like Happy Valley Road. You can see it's still near Cave Creek. You would take, I think you could take Happy Valley Road across Cave Buttes Dam. Is that a public? I don't know if that's a public road. It should be, but I don't think it is. So you would take Happy Valley Road to 7th Street, or you could take it up to Sonoran Desert Road, which is Dove Valley Road. So, I mean, you're still kind of far from Cave Creek. I mean, pretty much the only place you can really live near Cave Creek, within 10 to 15 minutes, it's going to save you money from Cave Creek, would be right here in Tatum Ranch, in Dixoletta and Dynamite. I mean, you don't really have too many options. Now, if you wanted to consider Anthem, this is going to be a little bit more affordable, but there's no direct road to Cave Creek. I mean, if they did build a road, they could build it right through here, and it would just dump right into Cave Creek. But there's big mountains here that I don't think are too easy to get through. This whole Red Dog Ranch, Spurcross Ranch. I've been up in these mountains. It's coming along. It's actually way more developed than it ever has been. But this used to be like, man, there was nothing up here. Elephant Butte's somewhere around here. I don't even know where Elephant Butte is from this aerial, but you could see Elephant Butte from here, and monsoons roll right over these mountains. This area right here is called Bloody Basin. And if you were to go into Bloody Basin, I remember my dad used to take us up here because he used to like going and looking at Native American, older villages and stuff, and we would just go out there and do archaeological stuff. And what you would find in this particular area was a lot of gnats. I remember there was more mosquitoes in this area of Bloody Basin. Now, how did it get its name, Bloody Basin, right? But, I mean, I don't even know if you could take the orange guy and get anywhere around Bloody Basin. I mean, you would come down here into Black Canyon City, and you would be right, you go right from Black Canyon City towards, this is another option you could consider. I don't know if this is necessarily close to Cave Creek, but this is a place that you could consider. And this is the I-17. You can see right here around Black Canyon City. All right, that was weird. It didn't quite work like I thought it would. Let's try that one more time. Wow. So I've never seen Google at night. The only time they've ever transited the I-17 was at night? You gotta be kidding me. There we go. So this is Black Canyon City. Not much, there's never really been much out here. I mean, this is kind of like trailers and horse farms and ranches and stuff. I guess it looks kind of beautiful. I mean, I wouldn't want to live out in Black Canyon City. I mean, the furthest north, I was surprised that people actually wanted to move out towards Anthem. So just before Black Canyon City is Anthem. It's hot up there in Black Canyon City, and New River right here, but there's Anthem, and that's a master plan community. But from Black Canyon City, you would go into Bloody Basin up in here. And so you could also consider places like Wickenburg, which is not at all close to good old Cave Creek. So if Cave Creek's your ultimate destination, you're not really going to get that proximity, because there's Carefree, Cave Creek, and there's Wickenburg. But Wickenburg would be a place, because in between Wickenburg and Peoria, say, they're starting to build that together, and they're building up these communities. They're starting to offer these communities for sale in this area. And Wickenburg is starting to come up as a destination. You also have Vistancia, which is over in the Peoria area. You can see that 303 is connected. Man, that 303 really, they put that in quick. I didn't even know the 303 was that big. I haven't actually driven on the 303. That wasn't here back in the day, back when I was there in 2001 in that area. But Joe Max Road is another road to add to the radar. Check around anything around Lone Mountain Road, Joe Max Road, the 303. All right, stay route 303. So anyway, yeah, that's something to consider. But yeah, Wickenburg is definitely a place to add to the list if you're looking for the next kind of what Cave Creek was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. You can see they're building these golf course communities still out in the old boonies. But you can see they're building, they've got the US 60 already in place, and it's just past Sun City. Another area that's kind of up and coming, I would say, is this Lake Pleasant. Lake Pleasant, I mean, if they ever authorize zoning to build homes around Lake Pleasant, that would be nice. Here's a golf course. Looks like they're trying to in Peoria. They're building a golf course, which means they'll build homes around that. But it's still pretty far away from Lake Pleasant. But there's a place out here called Castle Hot Springs. I'll have to go out there and check it out for you. But this would be a cool place if they ever allowed homes to be built around there. I don't know if they ever will. Anyways, yeah, I mean, this is kind of North Phoenix for you in a nutshell. You all the way from Cave Creek, Carefree, Pinnacle Peak is more expensive. That's Scottsdale. I mean, and then you got Anthem, New River. So the places to consider for North Phoenix: New River, Anthem, Dove Valley or Deer Valley, Dove Valley too, but Cave Creek, Carefree, this whole area right here. So there you go. Check out Cave Creek, Carefree, Anthem, New River, and yeah, that's basically it. That's all she wrote, folks. Carefree Basin, you can check these communities. Tramonto is a pretty nice one. It's right next to the I-17, so you'd be in a good range. Any of these houses along Tramonto, Carefree Crossing, Sonoran Foothills. Check out the Sonoran Foothills. It's pretty nice out there, but you're right next to the I-17, which is basically that super corridor that just slingshots you all around the valley as you need to go. So anyways, guys, we'll see you next time. Thanks to everyone who's been watching these videos and liking these videos. You can check out any one of these other videos here that we've got up there. And we'll see you guys next time.